I am heavy, and this is my... She weighs 1 kilogram and fires $2 custom tool cartridges at 10,000 minutes per minute. It costs $4 to fire this weapon for 12 minutes. All right. Some people think they can outsmart bullet. Maybe. I've yet to meet one that can outsmart me. Cry some more.
Dartling Gunner. BTD's certified heavy weapons expert.
Yeah!
Reintroduced in the 22.0 update, the Dartling Gunner uses their high-powered machine gun to cut through balloons at a staggering 300 rounds per minute.
Oh, this is bad!
The Dartling also possesses a variety of interesting and powerful weapons, including a Space Marine and a Caterpillar armed with 6 shotguns, all of which are meta choices for some reason. But what am I doing blabbering about these itty bitty details? So let's get right into it. Firstly, we have the Dartling's laser path. Here we have upgrades that scale from merely tickling balloons to instantly vaporizing them from existence. The Dartling starts by getting off the beers and reducing their spread from a cone to a even smaller cone. Very nice upgrade to have, especially for buckshot, but it's not always needed for the bottom path. Next, we have the Dartling's oh so powerful laser shock upgrade. The Dartling starts now apply a basic dot effect that makes shocked balloons take 1 extra damage from any Dartling with this upgrade. Again, another great upgrade to have, but its true power is unlocked through further upgrades. Heading further into this path, we have the appropriately named Laser Cannon. Like the previously covered Laser Blast upgrade, it kind of has a reputation for being, well, bad. To be fair, the damage and pierce buffs do help the Dartling transition from early to mid-game. But the damage type change from sharp to energy can be a real pain at times. The Dartling still can't pop leads, so you still need to rely on external support to deal with them. And it loses purple popping power, which can come back to haunt you in the 40s. And all it gains from the damage type change is frozen popping power. But who really cares about that? Certainly not the worst Dartling upgrade, but its requirement for micro and accounting for its weaknesses just makes it a huge turn-off to stop at. Next up, we have the Plasma Accelerator. Other than being the world's most powerful laser pointer, this monkey mows through the mid-game with little to no remorse. While purples are still a problem, the Plasma Accelerator can pop leads all by itself, and the pointer has a strong mob damage bonus. I know micro-based monkeys aren't everyone's favourite, but Plasma Accelerator isn't too bad compared to other Dartling upgrades. And this thing can save you a lot of money in chimps. On the opposite end of the money spectrum, we have the Ray of Doom. This behemoth of a death ray takes away the cost efficiency of the previous upgrade, and transforms the Dartling into a bad slicing machine. Sure, this thing costs 80k, but sourcing the materials for this thing is very hard. Hold on, how much were the heated seats? Jokes aside, this is probably not worth it for most games, even in chimps. But in free play and boss events, the rod is worth every single dollar, even if it takes a truckload to get it. Moving on to the middle path, we have some simple but effective upgrades that are coupled with monkeys that make you sad or completely mad to play with. The first two upgrades are your stock standard camo and attack speed upgrades. Nothing special here, but their simplicity makes them useful for all paths. Moving on to Hydra rocket pods, the Dartling gunner decides to do a little trolling and swaps his darts out for highly radioactive plutonium rockets. I know I'm probably going to cop some flack from HRP enjoyers, but I personally find this upgrade a bit mid. Although Hydra rocket pods has no weaknesses, it requires straightaways and clumped balloons to make full use of its explosions pierce. Gee, I wonder where I've seen this problem before. But really, the explosion's radius is way too small to be a reliable damage source, compared to just adding it to the base projectile like what the other paths do. And the fact that the base attack remains nearly unchanged when upgraded to Rocket Storm, it just solidifies my opinion that this path isn't reliable during mid-game. Sure, the ability can help you out in a jam, but having it as your only solution to BFBs isn't a good sign. I understand Rocket Storm is a lot cheaper than the other Dartling tier 4s, but considering the other two can last at least 5 to 10 more rounds with a lot less support, they often come on top as the better save-up towers. Ending off this path, we have the Mad, or what I like to call fueled by hatred and plutonium. This warrior packs a hell load of firepower to take down most balloon threats. The most notable change with this upgrade is its massive Moab damage bonus, but its ability also gets a nice buff as well. However, the Mad is forced to reduce its fire rate, because it isn't that kind of mad. Jokes aside, I can't ignore that this thing is meta for 2TC and boss events. But beyond that, it's a bit niche, since its power is only required for late game runs. Now, Bez. How can I talk about this path? While it's not as flashy in terms of gimmicks, the bottom path provides consistent damage at a reasonable price, and it's highly viable across a variety of game modes. The first upgrade feels like a literal crutch in my opinion, because the extra swivel speed only comes in handy if you're playing on fast forward. But it isn't too bad, considering buckshot requires good reaction speeds to perfectly line up its shots. While faster swivel has a low buy-in cost, Ninja Kiwi proceeds to kick you in the balls and charge 8 times as much on powerful darts. To be fair, this upgrade is great for earlier tiers, since triple pierce along with extra projectile speed and size can be handy in the early game. But most tier 3 upgrades already have decent pierce by themselves, and the non-buckshot upgrades have to sacrifice accuracy or attack speed to pick up this cross path. But if you value a fat rod instead of one that's competitively viable, you do you, I guess. In other news, the Dartling gunner can transform into the Fat Scout and swaps out its darts for piercing buckshot. Sure, this upgrade takes away a lot of what makes the Dartling gunner, well, a Dartling gunner, but the new shotgun attack is quite fun. The combination of balloon knockback and high burst damage makes it great for breaking down ceramics. But the reduced fire rate? Yeah, I see why this thing isn't topping anyone's charts for consistency. But considering it has great cross-pathing options, and a cheap price, it's not the worst save-up tower in the Dartling's lineup. Moving on, the Fat Scout transforms itself into an even more obese caterpillar that comes with 4 times as many barrels. Pretty simple in concept, but once you've gotten the monkey combo going, you've pretty much got a free ticket to round 80. But if you thought the Bads is a massive caterpillar, then the Bez is the mother of all caterpillars. Sporting 2 extra barrels along with extra buckshot damage, this thing is an absolute balloon killing machine. The Bez's only major weakness is DDTs, but considering you can afford a MIB or another delating tower by that stage of the game, it isn't too bad of a weakness to have. Well, that's my opinion on the Dartling gunner. It is probably one of my favourite towers to whip out when I need a lot of extra firepower. On a side note, I finally activated my creator code, so if you feel like supporting me, please use code JWAGS in the store. But otherwise, I hope you have a good one, and I'll see you all in the next video.